But now look at that. I mean, that is a powerful scene, guys. We didn't see that to that extent yesterday. Yesterday, it didn't seem like it was, as organized as this march here. And that is the powerful scene. Once again, if you are just joining us here on KVU, this protest today kicked off right at 1. And this presence is much larger than we kicked off yesterday. This protest today is also specifically aimed for Michael Ramos. Of course, we are still talking Black Lives Matter and George Floyd as well. But here locally, we talked this morning as well about Michael Ramos's mother, who really requested that things stay peaceful today. And of course, all weekend we've been talking about law enforcement as well. If you were with us on our coverage yesterday, all 2,000 APD officers were called into work yesterday, and they were out there into the late evening. Things did get a little bit hectic on 6th Street last night. There was some looting, especially at one particular business, and 2 different fires downtown. But from what I'm seeing right now, things have been smooth sailing since we kicked off here a little bit ago. But once again, this large group of people is all a part of this protest that started outside of the Texas Capitol. And once again, the Texas Capitol grounds were closed today in response to that large presence that showed up there yesterday. But still, Patrick, it's a powerful scene to see this.
Absolutely. It's a very different shot from yesterday. I was watching at home. It was my day off. But I remember seeing just different clusters in different places. So we had some groups at Austin Police Headquarters. We had some group at the Austin City Hall. And then we had another group at the Texas State Capitol. So it's interesting to see that despite the actual organized protest being canceled by the Austin Justice Coalition, that there is kind of this formation, this organization between the protesters. And Tori, one of our morning reporters on Daybreak, tweeted that it appears that they are heading to City Hall, the Austin City Hall, which is again what Tony was also implying, and that's what the original route was for the planned protest for today.
Absolutely, and if you look at that rundown of the protest, as Tony mentioned, it is very different than yesterday. We didn't have any speakers, there wasn't really any music, there wasn't, it wasn't essentially very planned, but here it looks like, they are pressing on. And once again, if you didn't hear a little bit earlier, they were hesitant to have this event today. They did kind of officially cancel it based off of some potential threatening comments that were left in regards to hijacking the event, which once again, other protests across the country are facing that right now, and that is sometimes the risk with the planned protest. And once again, we are getting a closer look here as we're hearing that they are moving towards City Hall.
Yeah.
We're listening here.
Signs in the crowd compared to yesterday. Am I wrong?
Right. Everything about this, it definitely, it seems a little bit more put together, a heavier presence. Absolutely. And whether that is that momentum of yesterday or, people have, obviously, the Austin Justice Coalition has quite the following here. You can talk about that too. I know you have covered some of their peaceful protests in the past, and I think that, they have been protesting for Michael Ramos even before this George Floyd incident, and so I think having especially that social media presence, word got out and it shows.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in, still trying to get maybe an understanding of what's going on here. Obviously, these people are protesting police brutality. They're in support of George Floyd. Locally, like Hannah had mentioned before, our most recent case here was with Mike Ramos, and he was this man in Southeast Austin who Austin police shot and killed because a 911 caller had reported that he was doing drugs inside of a car with somebody else. And that he was waving a gun. We later found out from Austin Police Chief Brian Manley that was not the case. He did not have a gun on him or in his car. The police still ended up shooting him as he tried to get away in his car. And in the custodial death report, they reported that they feared he was going to use the car as a weapon. And so a lot of people have been upset about this death, of Mike Ramos' death, since March 24th when this happened.
Absolutely. It said peace on his sign there. Patrick, even seeing some children just walk by, and it's a powerful moment to see. Really every walk of life is out here right now.
Well, so this is what's, again, interesting, because Chaz Moore was on Facebook Live this morning, concerned about the children, the kids, because I guess there was some sort of information that he had received that would lead him to believe that this was not going to be a safe situation, specifically for his members and his followers, which are primarily people of color. But it looks like he still wanted to go out there, still wanted to, I guess, maybe keep the crowd organized and keep the message the same. And it looks like this is what's going on here, along with obviously the Black Lives Matter members and protesters.
Absolutely, they are probably walking, and I heard you mention that we haven't seen an APD presence yet here. So whether they are lined, obviously, I know they're dispersed across downtown, but that is much different than what we saw yesterday. And obviously, because that protest started outside of APD headquarters, but much like yesterday as well, there was one point in the afternoon where a group was heading to City Hall, and I know we were speaking with Chief Manley yesterday with some concerns about city buildings, which of course law enforcement has been dealing with across the country as some of these larger groups are migrating towards the city buildings. So it will be interesting to kind of see what this next step is once they head to City Hall.
And Hannah, let's bring back KVUC reporter Tony Plahetsky. He has something he'd like to share with us. Tony?
Yeah, I just want to report that according to Rebecca Weber, who is the attorney representing Brenda Ramos is Michael Ramos' mother, and according to Ms. Weber, the attorney, she says that Brenda Ramos is going to have a news conference at 3 o'clock, that's about 90 minutes from now, at the scene of the shooting at an apartment complex in Southeast Austin. It will mark the first time we'll hear from her, of course. She was expected to be here today and to participate in this rally and in this march. Then those plans changed. But again, according to her attorney, that news conference is going to happen around 3 o'clock at the Southeast Austin apartment complex, the shooting scene where this happened on April 24th, marking the first time that we have heard from her publicly, aside from the statement that we received yesterday.
Yeah. And Tony, really quickly, like he was just saying, this is the first time we hear from the mother of Mike Ramos. The statement that she put out yesterday was talking about the protest yesterday and it was going to happen today. And I want to read it really quickly to you. She says, "I'm so grateful for the love and support from many Austin community and faith-based groups since my son Mike was shot and killed by Austin police officer Christopher Taylor 1 month ago. Councilmember Greg Kassar and the other Austin officials who have offered their support to me have given me hope that this community will demand justice for Mike." That's obviously something that we're seeing today. She goes on to say, "I am heartbroken over the terrible murder of George Floyd. I understand the anger. But I am pleading with the community, please do not commit violence in my son Mike's name. There will be people of all ages, including children and older folks, at the March for Black Lives tomorrow. No one should be afraid to come and make their voice heard because of fear of violence. Please do not give the Austin Police Department any excuse to shut down tomorrow's peaceful rally." Obviously, she is talking about the rally that was planned for today, which is going on right now.
Right. Yeah, and Patrick, I just want to describe what we're seeing right now. I mean, I want to tell you that, and the entire length, as far as my eye can see, on Congress is absolutely filled with protesters at this point. I'm standing on the sidewalk, and what I can tell you is that, let's see, I'm at 8th in Congress right now. As far back as the state capitol, there are protesters, and as far south as the eye can see. I mean, I'm looking well past 6th Street, and the street is just lined with protesters and people participating in this march at this time. So, again, a very different scene than we saw yesterday at the beginning of yesterday's protest. But, you know, I also want to say that at this point, people appear to be taking selfies, taking pictures. The crowd is relatively calm at this point, and obviously you can hear the cacophony of car horns. People who maybe are not walking in this march joining in by sounding their horns. That is also happening. Other people are standing on sidewalks and cheering. So I'm just going to kind of keep walking with everyone, and we'll soon arrive at City Hall.
Thank you so much for that, Tony. And I do just want to mention a moment that we just passed. We just passed the Paramount Theater, which has been, they are known for kind of their encouraging messages. And throughout this pandemic, especially just with all of the hurt that we've been feeling from the coronavirus, they have been putting out inspirational messages. And that was a powerful moment just now. Our camera with Madi just passed that, showing Black Lives Matter. And they put that out there. And once again, we want to show you these signs. We want to show you the messages that are happening there. And we also want to continue our team coverage here. We are actually going to head over to Darrenisha Heron, who is also live from the protest now. Darrenisha, how are you doing?